People, and welcome to today's episode of the Curious You podcast. I'm so excited to introduce you to someone whose work radiates the kind of energy I believe so many of us are craving in 2025, a mix of strategy, soul, and actually self trust. My guest, Shani Timms, joins us from the beautiful Byron Bay, where I've just learned that it's sunny throughout the year. Not jealous at all. Where she lives with her husband and her baby, little Frankie, who's not even a year old yet. Shani is a soul led brand and business coach and a three-time founder who's worked with over 150 entrepreneurs and brands, helping them build businesses that feel aligned, easeful, and deeply authentic. But what I love about Shani is her holistic approach. She blends the spiritual and the strategic. She uses tools like human design to help women reconnect with their natural rhythm in business while also being incredibly practical when it comes to systems, structure, and sustainable growth. In a world, unfortunately, that often tells us to hustle harder, Shani reminds us that business gets to be light, that we actually get to have fun, and that success doesn't have to come at the cost of our well being or femininity. And I truly love that and deeply resonate with that, Shani. So, in this conversation, we'll explore what it means to run a business as a woman in 2025, how mindset, motherhood, and modern tools like AI can all exist in harmony. And we'll talk about building a personal brand from the heart and what it really means to love what you do. Ani, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Nina. That was the most beautiful introduction ever. Like, you actually brought a tear to my eye. And if I can be really honest, it's so beautiful that you picked up that from my brand and what I'm here to do. And it just made me think, okay, the message is getting out there. Like, the marketing, the messaging, it's all working because that's what you picked up from, what I put out there on social media. So that was so thoughtful, and I'm so grateful for that beautiful introduction and to be here with you as well.
Definitely. When I read what you wrote on your website, that business gets to be fun, like you bought me. You immediately bought me because that's actually what I'm doing here as well. And, just trying to show people that it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to hustle like crazy and you don't have to disconnect yourself from what you're doing. It can all coexist in harmony. And that's why I really wanted to introduce you to the listeners and to give them an opportunity to hear your story and how you're actually changing lives of a lot of entrepreneurs out there. So for anyone that's new to your work and what you do, how would you describe what you do?
Gosh, okay, where do I start? Okay, I feel like I want to start by saying I have worn all hats as an entrepreneur. Like, I started my entrepreneur journey at the age of 23. I started a Whole Foods meal delivery service that went all over Melbourne. I then moved into a catering business. I then started an e-com business, and then I landed myself in Byron Bay, where I started this business now, which has just evolved as I have evolved. So now I call myself the brand creator. But as I said, I've worn many hats. So I am a graphic designer by trade. I've done interior design. I've done many things, but this is kind of where I've landed. And I help soul-led business owners really express themselves online in a true and authentic way. It's something that I'm so passionate about. And I think so many people feel so disconnected from, even you said before this call, I can't wait to, do my brand with you, because it's like we try and put ourselves out there online, but it's like nothing really feels in alignment. But it's like what I love to do is get inside your brain and find your true authentic style and then find a way to actually show that online. So that's what I do. My special offer is called Brand in a Day, and I literally transform your whole entire brand in a single day. And it's like the most fun. I never get sick of it. And I've done nearly 200 of them.
Yeah, that resonates so much because, as you said, when you're starting your own business, I don't think that we think about how complex it is to actually put yourself out there in terms of figuring out your story, your why, your purpose, why you're doing what you're doing, and then as well the visual representation behind it all. Like when I started last year, I remember I was just posting like intuitively, I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. But then when you reach a point where you're like, okay, now I really need to have a bit of, not like, I wouldn't call it strategy, but like a system, or I need to think about my story. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Like until this point, I did it intuitively, right? what is my story? What is my purpose? What is my why? And when I find that why, how can I present it to other people? Like that is at least for me, because I'm not a visual type of person at all. It's very hard for me to figure out like what goes where, colors and those little things. And I've reached a point where it's so important. That is, if not like one of the most important things, because you can have the best story in the world, but if you're not able to show it to your audience, like no, it won't come across. It just won't work.
100%. And even what you said before the call as well, it's like as soon as I saw your profile, it's like, you know, you kind of got the vibe of me straight away. And that's the beauty of branding, and especially a personal brand. It's like we can have an Instagram page. Yes, like you could maybe do basic Canva templates. That's not really going to give the vibe. But it's like when you have a brand that's created for your true energy and like your authentic vibe, it's like that's almost like this marketing that's out there in the world, like spreading your essence without you having to do any work, you know. Like I don't even actually know how you sort of found me, but it's like cool, like that brand is out there doing its thing in the world, and attracting in the right people as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For all of you listening, if you haven't been to Shani's Instagram profile, please go there. It's one of the coolest profiles. I mean, when I entered your profile, I told you before recording, I just stayed there for like 40 minutes.
Oh, really?
And looking at your design and everything, like the way you're doing it and blending colors, green, blue, and like all of those things, like the names, biz, shiz, woo, you know, like it stays with you, those buzzwords, it really stays with you. So an awesome, awesome profile. And that's such a useful skill to have in today's world, like designing, being able to use all of those tools. I think it's one of the best skills to have. So that's incredible. But before we dive into all of that, I wanted to take you back a bit. So I saw that you started your entrepreneurial journey when you were only 23, and that since then you've had 3 businesses, right?
1, 2, 3. This is my 4th business. Is that right? Yes. Wait, is that right? Yes.
Can you take us on that journey? Like, what kind of mindset did you need to have in order to be able to be an entrepreneur for 10 years and to have 4 businesses?
I think like the experimenter mindset is what comes to mind, where you don't need to have all the answers to start a business. You don't need to have the 10-step plan. You don't need to have it all mapped out. Like when I first started my business, I knew nothing about running a catering kitchen. I knew nothing about like how to prepare, you know, meals or anything like that. But I knew I had a passion for cooking, and I'm just going to make it work. And it's literally, I think if you have an experimental mindset as an entrepreneur, it cannot fail you, because you're happy to try 1,000,001 things, and you know in that journey you will find a path that works, or you'll find one direction that works. So I think like that's never failed me as an entrepreneur. Like I'm still to this day experimenting things, like and I keep finding what works, and then I throw out what doesn't work. And it's honestly been probably the biggest game changer of a mindset to have. And like, I think this is the thing that can really stop people when they start business, is they think that it needs to be perfect. They think that they need to have everything mapped out. But really, I think that's the piece that inhibits so many business owners, because they're waiting too long. Like the idea has gone, the energy is gone. I'm like so here for, as you said beautifully before, just like it's like running business intuitively. And when you run in business intuitively, things aren't going to make sense. You're going to get a download, or you're going to get a drop in and be like, why the fuck is spirit telling me to do this? Or why am I getting this next step? But it's in doing that next step that you find the next step and the next step. But what I find is when people think too logically with their mind, and they overthink things in business, they get really trapped doing things that are inauthentic to them, that burn them out, that feel so disconnected from their path. Because they've been told that this is, Hormozi's 10-step business to scaling to $1 million, right? I guarantee if 100 people did that plan, like maybe half of them would make it, but half of them wouldn't, because it's not their authentic way of doing business. And that's what I'm really excited about as well. It is just like helping people find what feels fun to them in business and what feels true to them in business, and kind of chucking out the rule book. Like, yeah, I've gone a bit off track, but like I think like that's also another thing, is like fuck the rule book, fuck the rules. Like if you want to do business one way, like do it. For me, for example, right now, like I'm working 2 days a week, and like that is it. And I do my 2 brand in a days a week. Sure, like there's people that might say, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But I'm like, fuck, I'm allowed to swear on this, sorry. But F the shoulds, throw them out. Because you want to do business in a way that feels good for you.
Yeah. I often say, it's like, if you don't do business because it feels good, why are you even doing it? I feel like it's the
Totally.
best thing in the world, right? To have your own business. You don't even know until you actually become an entrepreneur how hard it is. And like you said, you have to wear so many hats. You have to be, a social media manager, a general business operations manager, a salesperson. You have to connect with yourself. You have to still do some like strategic stuff on the side. I mean, it's a lot of work, especially if you have, your own life on the side, which I believe many entrepreneurs do. So if you don't actually connect with it, what's the point? What's the point of having your own business? It makes no sense. And for me, I remember for so many months, when I was starting, I was trying to map out the future in my head. I would just imagine, okay, where am I going towards? What am I doing? What's my goal? And then I would just stay stuck. Like I wouldn't see the future. It just wouldn't work that way until I've learned to let go, to just take it one day at a time. If I know what my schedule is for today, I'm happy. I'm good. If I'm in connection with myself for today, I'm winning in life. And everything else will anyway work out, and it won't even be in accordance with what I could imagine. I mean, that
100%. And like surrendering in business is probably the hardest thing, but is the thing that we need to do. Like I'm a big believer in like listening to your business, and not just like that might sound weird, but like intuitively listening to your business right now, like what's feeling good in your business, like what isn't feeling good, like that is all information to you. And I've created my best offers, like Brand in a Day, for example. I've created that offer through so many hard things that happened in my business early on, like clients not being happy and revisions taking weeks and weeks. And then each week I would refine my process. Listen, okay, what's this client situation telling me about my business? What's this situation that's causing a lot of stress telling me about my business? And so this is like an easy model for everyone to do. It's like I used to do it every week. I would sit down on Monday and I would go, what's working in my business right now? Write it all down. What's not working in my business? Write it all down. And what are we going to do about it? Because in the end, we're the boss. No one else. We're the boss. We call the shots. So if something doesn't feel good, that's on you. But it's also on you, and you get to change it. Like that's the best part about it. So I feel like that if you can even do that once a month, that little check-in with your business, like what's feeling good, what's not feeling good, like what am I going to do about it? Like you will move mountains within your business.
That you were using curiosity to actually grow in your business.
There we go. On brand. I like it.
On brand. Love it. And when you, for example, you work with a lot of women, I don't know if you work with men as well, or is it only women?
Some men, but mainly women. Yeah.
Okay. So when you work, let's say with your clients, and when you see that somebody is stuck in their business, where do you start?
Okay, I really tap them into their heart energy, because like the head, as I said before, is going to chase us down so many different rabbit holes. But as soon as we drop them into the heart, it's like the answer is so dead clear what they need to do. And it's like, I see it in client sessions. It's like they're talking and they're going a million miles an hour. And then I said, stop, take a breath, breathe into your heart. What is your business telling you to do right now? And they're like, easy, start this, stop this, do that. Like it's the most simple. And if you can't do it to yourself, ask your partner or friend to just ask you that question, and just keep asking the question until you get the answer, and you'll feel it in your body. Like you feel the truth in your body, and it's just like you can't then make any other decision. You have to go with that. So definitely drop them into their heart, and cutting out the noise, because it's like we can't listen to the heart when we are scrolling on social media, saving every single post on there, following every 10-step strategy to scaling to $1 million, following every other thing out there, because it's in the end, it's amazing, but it's all noise and it's taking you away from your truth. So like big tips for that is just like going for a walk in the day without your phone, starting the day without your phone. A lot of the stuff has to do with your phone. Even kind of like muting similar accounts that you follow that, distract you from your mission. Like you might be like, oh, I really want to do this, but they're doing that. Anything where you feel comparison come up, just mute those accounts. Like you can come back to them later. But what that does is just allows space for the heart to speak, and which is really your intuition, allows your intuition to come through. So that's like the number one thing that I do when my clients like really in their head. And I love just asking questions, and I love just asking a question, then asking another question. And like, I find that it's almost like, have you ever played that why game where you're like, but why? But why? And it just, you take it down, you keep asking why until you get to the root, and they're like, oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best mentors don't give you answers, right? They just give you the right questions and then you come to the conclusion by yourself. And
100%.
that's a
Yeah.
life-changing experience. You know, it's funny that you say that because so many times I've received messages from people being like, but how do I know what I really want to do in life? And from my personal experience, it wasn't a thing that just pops up, it happens overnight. I've actually spent 5 years in silence. Like you say, I've muted the noise. I mean, it started with COVID and becoming a mom and all of those things. But for 5 years, I was only sitting in silence, connecting with myself. We moved to a different country where we didn't even have a lot of friends or like social events. So we were basically alone in the apartment, my husband and I, and our, well, first one kid, then second kid, now we have two children. But the majority of my time I spent listening to podcasts or, taking those walks all alone without my phone, thinking about life, what it is that I really want to do. And the answers came after a few years of silence where I was like, wow, okay, first of all, I went back into my childhood and to all of those things that I cared about when I was a child. And it just felt like a click. But it wasn't an overnight thing. It really took years and years of sitting in silence and connecting to yourself. And I think that in today's world, like you said, we're bombarded with information from like whatever you do, you open your laptop, you open your phone, you're going to be bombarded with information. And it's, like you said, really about taking that step back and reconnecting to your heart. So I love what you're doing, honestly. It completely
Thank you.
resonates with everything that I've been doing.
I would
And
love to
let's
touch on something you said actually, like about the timing thing, if we could, because you said like you sat for years in silence and you waited and you waited and you waited, and what you did, what it sounds like, is you didn't force an answer. And I think a lot of people can tend to force an answer, or they're expecting things to be really quick. But like, if it's not your season for business, it's not your season for business. I'm a big believer of divine timing, and I've tried to push shit uphill before and it has not flown. And like, I think that's also, like, as we said before, another really key part of like running a successful business is knowing that there's seasons of business. Like, it's not always upward trajectory. Like, there's some seasons where you're actually not meant to have the answers, and you're meant to experiment, and business is meant to be messy, and like, let it be, because there's so many lessons in that and there's so much gold in that. But if you resist it, you try and force something, you try and force an answer, like, you're going against the grain, and it's actually going to drag things out so much longer,
yeah,
like,
for
kind of
sure.
picture your business as a bit of a river, right? Like, you want to be flowing with the river. You don't want to be trying to paddle upstream or go to the side of the river when they're trying to like force you down the river. Like, flow with it and see where it takes you, because I think that's where the most magic happens in business.
That's very true. But I feel like people as well nowadays, they're pressured to start their own businesses. I feel like it's become a trend, so to say. From my personal experience, ever since I shifted from corporate to having my own business, I have noticed how people around me started starting their own businesses as well. Like, I have an experience with a friend who started her own business a few months after I did. And then this summer, she came to me and she told me, like, Nina, every time I talk to you, I want to do my own business. Like, you give me the energy, but then I come home and I don't feel like doing it. Like, I don't feel like it's my season to do it. And I was so proud of her for actually noticing that and admitting it to herself, because that's not an easy thing to do, to admit to yourself, like, I want to do something, but it's not my time. And she realized that she needed to take care of herself first. Like, she needed to take care of her foundation of, like, just the simple things of her relationships, her eating habits, who she is, how she talks to herself. And once she goes through all of that, like, business is there to expand you, right? Not to make you happy if you're unhappy with certain things in your life. And that was a moment where I realized, wow, like, I don't even notice what an impact what I'm doing now can have on people until something like this happens. So I think that we live in
So
a world
cool.
where it's so easy to, be like, I want to do it as well. I want to do it as well. But like you said, it's about, okay, let's take a step back. Why you're doing it? What's your purpose? Are you ready for that? Is it your moment? And that's
Totally.
incredible.
It's like having a baby, right? Like it's like all my friends are having babies, so I've got to have a baby. But you're like, I'm not financially ready. My body's not ready. My nutrition isn't ready. Like, sure, you could follow the trend and have a baby, but like if the foundation isn't there, then you're going to have a really tough time. Same with starting a business. Like you can't just do it because everyone else is doing it. Like do it when you feel really, truly called to do it.
Yes, for sure. And how do you navigate, let's say, for example, low moments in your business or when there's slower momentum?
Well, there's a few things. I think like one, the mindset of knowing that no season lasts forever, the good, the bad. So when it's amazing, you ride that wave and like you do all the things and like you lap it up knowing that you've built this. And then also when it's low, like knowing that nothing lasts forever. Like this season of maybe slower clients or low income isn't going to last forever. And I think that alone just like helps you get through everything. But also I think like I'm a huge believer, and I say this to my clients all the time. The universe organizes my books. Like I don't plan, like I just trust that what the clients that I get are going to be what I need. And if it's a quiet week or a quiet month, I then go, okay, why am I being given this space in my business? It's not because I'm doing anything wrong or because, you know, this, that, and the other. Like, sure, like have your marketing set. Like it doesn't mean rest on your loins and don't do that. But what is this space actually allowing me to do? Is it to, you know, work on my systems on my back end? Is it to catch up on life or just enjoy life? Is it to focus on my health? So when you start to see business like that it's like, okay, the universe is organizing my books. This is all divinely orchestrated. It takes the pressure off things as well. You're like, oh, okay, like I have a quiet week. What can I do with this space? You know? And it's a lot more of a fun way of thinking about it rather than like, oh no, this is stressful. I don't have any clients, you know, blah, blah, blah. But that obviously is my way. Like I know that it can be very stressful, and I've been there where it's like, oh my gosh, I need to pay the bills. Like how are we going to kind of get through this? But yeah, just think about like, what is this space here for? And like, how could you utilize it to the best of your business?
So would you call yourself spiritual?
I would say spiritual. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Who am I? I'm like, yeah, of course.
Can you guide us through that? Like, what do you believe in exactly?
Oh, God. God, that's such a hard question. What do I believe in? I believe in like there's a greater power at B that wants the best for us. And that might not look like what we think is the best for us. I believe that everything is working out for us, even when it looks like it isn't working out for us. You know, some of like the hardest times in my life have actually turned out to be the most amazing pivotal moments in my life that have completely turned my life around. And I feel like going through all of them has just built such a trust in something greater, whether you believe in God, source, universe. And it's just built such trust that everything is working out as it's meant to. And that even the hardest moments in life end up being such a gift if we can kind of zoom back and sit in the pain and the discomfort and wait for the magic that's going to unfold. So that is my belief. Call me naive, call me whatever, but yeah.
No, I love it. I'm on board with all of that. But did you have that since you were a child, or was there a specific moment in life where you got those beliefs?
I would say I've always believed in magic. You know, not so much like magic shop magic, but I've always believed that there's something incredible out there in the world. And I think that's always been a belief of mine. And, you know, I believed in angels and all of that sort of stuff. But I think it would have been when I was probably maybe 22 or 23. I went through a big spiritual awakening and I read Gabby Bernstein's book, The Universe Has My Back. Have you read it? It's so good. So that was really my spiritual catalyst, you know. And I kind of call that the gateway drug to spirituality for a lot of women, because they read that and they're like, oh my God, I'm not alone in this world, and I can ask you, my guides and my team and all of it. And then I think it's just been an evolution since then. I think like if you want to grow as a human, be a conscious human who does the work and, you know, believes in something greater, and also run a business, because that is the most growth that you'll ever go through as a human, you know, and also have a baby. Yeah. How can we forget about that? It's like they're both like boot camps on steroids, you know, for personal development.
Love that, boot camp on steroids.
Yeah, crazy.
For sure. But you had a business before you had a baby, so I guess that
Yeah.
boot camp started earlier for you than for the rest of us that had a
Yeah.
baby. Well, at least for me, that was my case. I had a baby first, then a business. So,
That's even more impressive that way around.
you think?
Yes, because you have to learn everything as you're like, fuck, what am I doing? I'm a mum. I'm trying to breastfeed and run a business and do everything. So much more impressive.
Yeah, well, I didn't start it right away. I mean, it took me, as I told you, 5 years. So in those 5 years, I felt like I know what I'm doing. Okay, my babies are alive, they're healthy, they're
Yeah,
good. I guess I did a good thing as a mom, so I can maybe focus a bit on myself right now while they're in the kindergarten. So it wasn't, again, it wasn't hustling because I don't believe in that. Like my husband and I, we both have our own businesses. He's in the AI world, he's building his
amazing.
AI app. So we work a lot. But when you ask me, I don't feel like I'm working a lot,
Mm,
because everything that I'm doing is really an extension of me. Like talking to you here, I love that. Like meeting people from all over the world who have a similar mindset when it comes to, purpose in life and starting your own business from really an internal alignment. That's an incredible thing. I would do that any day of the week.
me too.
So it really feels like an extension of everything that I am. But I wanted to say something about Gabby Bernstein. You were mentioning her book, and I wanted to tell you a quick story before we
Yeah.
continue. I had a really, like you call it, you say woo. I had a woo moment when I was reading her book. And there was a part how we can communicate with angels, like when somebody dies from your family, like there is a way you can communicate with those people. And I think it was last year, I was sitting on my couch reading that book, and I was thinking about my grandpa. My grandpa died in a car crash when I was born. So I was 1 month old when he died. And I remember as a child, I always felt like he was there with me. Like even my grandma would tell me stories that when I was 3 or 4 years old, she would tuck me to sleep, and I would tell her, "Grandpa is inside my stomach. Like I feel him, I
Oh,
feel him." Or we would be having a walk in the city, and I would turn around and I would tell her, "Wait for Grandpa." She would be like,
whoa.
Grandpa is not here. And I'd be like, no, no, I see him. He's here.
She's
And
like, oh
I
my
had
God.
all of the all of these stories as a child. And growing up, I always felt like he was there. He was protecting me. When you just feel somebody's presence. And that day I was reading the book, and I was reading about that part that you can actually communicate with people who are no longer here. And I was telling my husband, like, yeah, yeah, I feel it. I feel like I can communicate with my grandpa. And then the second part in the book said that children actually, I think until they're 5 or 6, that they're open to things that they cannot see, that children are actually connected to that world that we cannot see, and that they can feel those things more than we can. 5 minutes later, I go into the bathroom where my daughter and my son were taking a bath, and I was just washing my daughter's hair, and she looks at my ring, this one here that I have. And this is a ring that my grandma bought me when my grandpa died. She sold his car, and from the money that she took from that, she uh, bought me this gold ring so I can have a memory
Beautiful.
of my grandpa. So I've been carrying it like on me since forever. And out of nowhere, I'm washing my daughter's hair. She looks at my hand and she's like, Mama, this ring, is it the ring that your grandma gave you when your grandpa died?
Oh my God. Chills.
I stood up, I started crying. I called my husband, I'm like, take over.
Oh my God. That is so
Out of
beautiful.
nowhere, out of nowhere. In that specific moment when I was reading Gabby Bernstein's book, it was
Kids
incredible.
kids are so intuitive. So intuitive. Like I think they can see things. I think they can see auras, they can see angels, they can see all of it. Oh my God. I can't wait for Frankie to start being like, "Mom, who's that over there?" And I'm like, "Who is it? Tell me the signs."
What does it look like?
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
literally. Oh,
And
that would
now
have
when
been
my
so
daughter,
special.
yeah, when she can't sleep, when she says, I see somebody, and I'm like, okay, I take it seriously now,
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, that doesn't exist. Come on, it's not real. It's your imagination. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Who do you see? How does that
Yeah.
person look like?
But I
I'm trying
think
to
it's so
understand.
beautiful, like parents like us who can actually foster this in our children. And it's like maybe at the age of 5, maybe it doesn't stop. Maybe it's like they get to like work with their spirit team or whatever that looks like. So, yeah, I'm excited with Frankie to like experiment with a few things, safely,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, you'll see. You will learn so much from Frankie when she
Yeah.
starts talking and being curious about this world, and it really reminds you on who you are at your core and why we are here on this earth. And we sort of I guess there's a saying that goes like, a creative adult is a child that has survived. And it's one of my favorite sayings because that is so true. A lot of us die like inside, we go on with life and we're not creative, we're not curious. And I think we can learn a lot from kids, especially if you have your own children. It's a daily reminder on the level of curiosity we should have in life.
Yeah, and the level of presence, like they are so present, and it's just like she'll call me, like she will be like slapping my arm if I'm not present, and I'm like, okay, reminder, be with you, be here in this moment, and it's just like it's the best. It's just calls me back to presence so many times.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so going from babies, I want to talk a bit more about business, and you keep using the word soul-led business. So I think that we understood from everything we've talked about here what it actually means for you and how you see business. But I wanted to ask you, how do you think women can integrate actually that part of intuition with structure so that business can feel aligned but also profitable?
Well, I'm like I love structure and I love flow within the week and I love having like all of the structure, but also at the same time, I love having like the spirituality aspect. But I really think, and especially as soul-led business owners, I think people can like lean way too much into like the soul-led, which is like the feminine way of doing business. So, they might just like post when they feel like it. They might, just kind of go with the flow with a few things and like, yes, that can be great, but also I think that there needs to be like structure within the business. And this could look like setting up, say for example, like say you really want to be like consistently showing up on social media, but you've kind of erred on the side of like, I'm just going to post when I feel like it. And you're like, okay, how's that serving you? You've shown up once this month, right? But what I teach my clients is like, okay, how can you actually create structure to actually have periods of creativity in your day? So I would say like, create like a CEO Monday or like a sacred day within your business where you set aside like 3 or 4 hours of content creation. And then within those 3 or 4 hours, you can tap into your feminine and you can tap into your intuition. But it's like, if it's not scheduled, it's not going to get done. So it's almost like, as weird and, backwards as this sounds, it's like we need to sometimes schedule in time for our intuition, our creativity, because if not, it's like life is just going to sweep us up and it won't happen. So I'm a huge calendar. I love my Google Calendar so much. I was like to you, I'm like, please send me a calendar invite because I need to have it in my calendar. That helps me so much. And like when I'm, in the deep throes of business, I'm obviously in mum mode now, but like, all my week is blocked out and it's like, okay, here's content creation and here's marketing and here's when I'm doing my invoicing. And that alone just allows me so much peace of mind. And it actually allows me to be more in my feminine because I'm not having a million things going on in my mind and trying to remember all these things. It's like the system is there, it's down. So then I can like be a bit more free and I can really relax in the afternoon because I know that there's a system and a place for everything. So I'm like, if you are at this moment listening to this and feeling like, oh yeah, I'm definitely leaning a little bit more into the feminine, like just try time block your week for the next 2 weeks and just see how that feels. Because I bet you are going to have so much more mental space, so much more clarity because you're not having a constant to-do list running in your mind and thinking you've forgotten something.
That is such a useful advice. I love that. And so does that mean that every day you do something different? Like, for example, CEO Monday, you said, and then, I don't know, social media Tuesday, then administration on another day. Does it work that way, you mean?
It depends on your business. I find when you like batch tasks that are similar together, you actually build efficiencies and you work through things a lot quicker. Say, for example, if you were to do an Instagram post every day, like it's actually going to take twice as long. Whereas if you just do 5 Instagram posts when you're in this like flow state on a Monday, and then say like Tuesday could be your accounting day or whatever. And then it's like you do your invoices and you pay your invoices and, whatever that might be. And you like check over your numbers. Like it's just meaning that you don't have to open and close as many tabs. You can just be in like one zone and then completely switch off from it. That might not work for some people. They may actually need to do like daily tasks, but there might be a few things you could batch and do weekly. Like content creation is such an easy thing to just like set 3 or 4 hours if you have that, maybe it's less, and just like batch a few things. Or even podcasting. I used to love like setting a Monday and just being like, okay, I'm going to record all my podcasts for the month now. And then that's done. I don't have to think about it, That may not work if you have guests, but yeah. I love efficiency. And especially becoming a mum, it's like we need
Yeah.
even more efficiency.
Exactly. You have no choice. You need to be efficient, definitely. So I love the system. What I've done now with podcasts, I've been recording them every Wednesday. It's like a weekly ritual that I have because I've been recording mostly before in the past 6 months out of intuition, like what happens in that specific week. I record it on Wednesday and then I publish it on Thursday. But what I've started doing recently is, like you said, I've started recording them in batch and actually having podcast episodes for the next like 2 months.
How does that
And
feel
it
for
just changed
you?
my life. It changed my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And it's so simple. It's like
Yeah.
planning ahead and scheduling and like streamlining things. And it's just giving you so much more mental space to think about other things.
Exactly. And you can also go on a holiday and not think about these
Yeah.
things because you have a system. Yeah, definitely. Love it, love it. And when you have, for example, harder days, when things feel heavy or forced, especially when it comes to social media, like what are some of your favorite ways to bring your energy back into what you're doing?
I'm a big believer of like, if you're really like not forcing, if you're not feeling it, like don't get on Instagram and jump on stories and like act like everything's fine, because people read energy so clearly, and like even if they don't believe in energy, they're reading energy. So that's not to say just like rest, never post because you're like, oh, I'm not feeling it, like because you'll never get anything done, right? But yeah, I'd say to my clients, I'm like, if you're really like forcing yourself to show up, like don't show up, go and do something, change your energy, go outside, go into nature, like do something you love. And it, like, I'm a big believer as well, like the energy will come when it's the right time. Like you'll feel the energy. Like, sometimes when you've got a post on your mind and you're like, I just need to get this out. People feel that on the other end of the phone. Like it's like the posts that have come through so hot in my head and sort of intuitively dropped in have been the ones that have resonated the most because I've acted on the energy. So I would kind of say to my clients as well, like when you're doing your posts, like have your set ones that you do for the week that you do, say in your CEO Monday, but also leave a bit of space. And like if one comes through, don't wait till next Monday, like just post it in the moment, because like there's so much power and energy in that. And like when people receive it, they really feel your energy as well. But like low days in business, like don't force it. Like honestly, business is a marathon, not a sprint. So it's like nobody's asking you to be chained to your desk if you're having a shit day. Like go outside, get a massage, be in nature, call a friend, like do things you love. And also like when I've done that in my business, like your business always rewards you. Like you come back and you're like, oh, there's been an application, or like someone signed up to something, or I think there's always like cheeky little ways the universe reminds you or rewards you if like you're really honoring yourself and you're looking after yourself.
Love it. And what gives you energy, Shani?
What gives me energy? Honestly, brand in a day. I know that sounds so crazy, but like I am jacked up after a brand in a day. I had one today and I was just like shaking and buzzing and like just it makes me so alive.
What is brand in a day? Because I don't think that we've explained what that is exactly.
Yeah, it's so it's what the name sort of sounds. So it's like I create your whole entire brand in a single day. So your logos, your colors, your fonts, your social templates, your brand guidelines, everything for your either personal brand or like company brand. And it's just wild about how much we get done in a day. And I've created this because like a lot of people have been burnt. I don't know if you've worked with graphic designers before, and it's like you get 3 designs back and you're like, I hate every one of them and I've paid thousands of dollars, and then you have to go back and forth for weeks via email to even get something that you're kind of half happy with. And so I'm like, fuck that process. Like, let's get on together. And it's a call similar to this where we're on, Google Meet. And I'm just designing live for you. So I'm like, okay, Nina, like, what's the vibe? We go over Pinterest and we create a mood board, and then we create logos from that. And I just like love that
doesn't know the vibe.
Well, usually they do. I've never had someone who doesn't know the vibe. Like, you come to me with a Pinterest board with like some ideas, and it might not make sense to you, but I'll see like common threads, and then it will just start to make sense. And this is like such an intuitively guided process. Like, I can't explain it, but it has a life of its own. It has a creative force of its own. And like, I purely feel that like, I'm just like moving the things, doing the things, and at the end of the day, the client's like, a client literally messaged me today just being like, this is literally better than I could possibly have imagined, you know? And it's so nice for, you know, say for you, for like the client, for them to actually feel seen and to be like, oh my God, this represents me. This doesn't feel like a, you know, like a batch template or something that's just been like batch created. This feels like something that's been created for my soul, and I'm excited to share it. So yeah, brand in a day just like lights me up so much and just brings me so much joy.
That is so cool, because I think that for me, in my specific case, like when we talk about visual branding, it's this might sound funny to you right
Yeah.
now, but it's like such a huge decision to make, because let's say you get your brand colors, and those are the colors that you need to keep using for I don't know how many years, because those are the colors that everybody recognizes your brand by. And for me, it seems like such a big decision to make, because I love creativity in a way of like changing things and trying to figure out what works best. And then just setting up like one type of design. It's like, wow, I need to be faithful to this one specific type of
I
design for
know.
the next couple of years. And that's why I was asking you, what if somebody doesn't know? Because in my head, there are so many styles that I like. And maybe I've never worked with a graphic designer, or I didn't have such an experience where maybe somebody's able to bring out a design that's completely in accordance with me and with my story and what I want to bring to this world. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have these conversations
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on. But from my experience, I've always had that moment. Like for my children's book, because I wrote a children's book
Amazing.
last year, and I hired a marketing agency to create everything, like logo, design. But that was different. Like it was a physical product, and I had no problem with having this visual representation of it. And I knew it needed to be, you know, high quality, and it needed to resonate with people. So we had 3 colors, and I was like, that's good. I'm going to keep using these 3 colors on Instagram and templates, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my personal brand, that's where I'm like, how do you decide for like 3 colors? And, you know, that's it.
Well, like I think the way you're thinking of a brand right now, it feels like so limited, right? That you're like, these are the lines and I can't, you know, go outside of the lines.
Yeah.
Whereas like a brand isn't a box that you put yourself in. It's like almost like a, you know, when someone's wearing like a beautiful shirt and it just accents them, like it's like your shirt right now, it's just accents you so much. Like that's what a brand does. It's not meant to box you in and feel really tight and like, you know, that you can't do this, you can't do that. It's actually meant to like elevate you and elevate your brand. And even if you look at my brand over the years, like I've still got the same colors, but it's changed so much because it's like it's grown as I've grown as well. So yeah, I think if you're having these like thoughts, it might mean that you're not ready for a brand just yet, although you want one, but it's like you'll feel the time when it's right, and you'll get a drop in, or you see something and you're like, oh, I love those colors, like that feels like me.
Connection, yeah.
That's yeah, people usually feel it, you know.
Yeah. That's what I was telling my husband as well. I'm like, I'm not sure if I should be creating this at this point of my business, or I should wait a bit. But just the idea of asking myself that question for me was like, yeah, I should, you know, if I wanted to do it right now, I would have. I know myself.
100%. And there's no pressure to do it, you know, like
Exactly.
like if you're, it's this thing as well, like people can get caught up in like, oh my God, I need all the pretty things to like launch my business. You don't, yes, that's a nice to have, but you don't need it. You can do it without it. And like maybe in a couple of months, then it's like, or a year, like you might have the energy and like be like, okay, it's time for a brand now.
Exactly.
But I'm like a big, like if people message me and they're like, oh, I just want to think about it. I'm like, take your time. Like there is no rush with this. Like I fully trust that you'll get the download when it's the right time to do this.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. Perfect. We've got that cleared. My mind
Cool.
is better now.
Put that at ease. Yeah.
Exactly. Talking about womanhood and what it means, because we've talked about moving from feminine energy in business, and having that mix of masculine and feminine. But being a woman in 2025, I mean, it comes with so many layers, you know it, you know, ambition, nurturing, visibility, identity. How do you see women redefining success right now?
I feel like it's really getting out of the head energy and into the heart energy. And like it's when we move from that space, it is such a different life. Like even if you just think about how we move through life, right? Imagine if every woman just like slowed down a little bit, you know? Like for me, I'm like, that's such a big thing. As soon as I slow down, I feel like more intuitive, and I feel my heart energy, and like I I really think that like running it in the head is such a masculine way of doing life, but it's like as soon as we can like slow things down, and me talking a million miles an hour right now, by the way.
No, I
But
love it.
if we can like come back into the heart, I feel like that would honestly just be such a beautiful place to live, and like doing what we love. Like I know that's a very privileged place to be, and to say that I, you know, I get to do what I love. But honestly, I'm like, the energy that I'm in when I'm like on purpose and I'm doing what I love, like that then radiates out. It radiates out through social media. It radiates out through like the people that I see in the street, and like the interactions that I have. Like, you know, and in the contrast, like if I was doing a job that I hated, like my energy would be so insular. My energy would be so like, not radiant and magnetic, you know? So I think like if we can really like tap into our heart space, do what we love. I know that sounds probably so cliche. But like I think that would be such a beautiful place for us all to live in.
And are you the first generation of women living that way from your family?
Um what do you mean? Like as in like does my mum live like that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so for example, for me, I think that I'm very privileged to be talking about these things right now, you know,
Mm,
about doing what I love and about finding myself and, you know,
totally.
it's really a privilege that none of the women from my family had, like my grandma, great grandma, my mom, like none of them worked on these things, and they
Hmm.
didn't have space, time, or actually, like now we have so much information everywhere, like we discussed, like it's easy to learn how to live your life properly, but before people didn't have access to the information that we now have access to. And in my specific case, I'm the first woman in my family that sort of turned things around, and
Mm,
that is focusing on herself from that heart space and teaching my daughter to do the same. So
yeah.
I know you grew up in Australia, so I'm just wondering, are you the first woman in your family to actually have that mindset?
I would say my mum, like she's always been quite very career driven, and she's an amazing yeah, she's done amazing in her lifetime. So I would say it probably was with my grandma on both sides, my mum and my dad. I think that they lived a very family first life. You know, they were the mother of the house, and they did the cooking and the cleaning and all that sort of stuff. And you know, they had passions, but it was kind of like that was pushed to the side. But I think like now that we do have this privilege, it makes me even more fired up to make the most of it. It's like, and I want to teach, you know, I want to teach Frankie and all of our children. It's like, this is how we make the most from life. And, you know, we can still be a family woman and a businesswoman and, you know, madly, deeply in love with our partners. Like we don't have to be so one faceted. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so happy with all of these conversations. And I was talking to my husband about this because I feel like 10 years ago, the world was a different place. Or maybe it's just my algorithm and the people I surround
Yeah.
myself with. I don't know. But I remember 10 years ago, you had to be this woman in a suit, you know, like this strong woman who's operating from her mind, who does it all, hustler.
Mm,
And I never felt like I connected to that version of myself, even though I did try to be. Like, I worked in Brussels for years. I wanted to be a politician. I saw myself in the European institutions and all of those things. But I knew I had something inside of me that was softer than what I was representing myself as. And it took a moment to go back into myself, to connect with that feminine side of me, and to realize that I want to live from my heart, not from my mind. And when that happened, women who think alike started appearing in my life. And now in 2025, whoever I talk to when we talk about feminine energy or female leadership, a lot of women tell me the same. A lot of women who are like CEOs of a company, they all say the same, which is about
mm,
connecting to your heart and what it means to be a woman in today's world, not only in terms of business, but inside your family. Like
mm,
I was interviewing an incredible girl from London last week, I think it was, and she studied anti-aging science in London, and genetics as well. And she was asking me, I asked her, do you know where energy comes from?
mm,
And she explained that actually when you're born, you get energy from your mom. So
mm,
there's a cell that transfers energy from a woman to a baby. So all humans today got their energy from their moms. And
So cool.
she says that women are like electricity in the house. Like
Mm,
if you're turned on, there's electricity, there's light. And if you're turned off, like dead.
it's
Which I
nothing.
felt like ever since I became a mom, I guess you had the same experience. If I'm in a
Yeah.
bad mood, if I'm not happy, the whole house, falls
Mm-hmm.
apart. And for like months, I tried to tell my husband, why can't you, be positive when I'm down and
Yeah.
stuff. Like he tries, but just it doesn't
Doesn't
work.
work like that. That's so true.
So
It's such
yeah,
a
I
beautiful
just
analogy.
wanted, yeah, I just wanted to say that I really love those stories because it resonates deeply. And if a woman takes care of herself, I feel like we're so powerful and we don't even know yet how powerful we are.
100%. And I think there's this common misconception that to be powerful, we need to be loud and big and, doing the hustle things and all that. But it's like for women, like our power is in the stillness and the softness and like, and being gentle. Like there's so much power in that. And my partner says it all the time. He's like, you are your most powerful when you are so deeply present and when you're softly spoken, like your words can cut through a room. And I'm like, ooh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a difference when you're talking from here. It's like deeper, quieter, and slower
Mm,
when you're connected.
I'm still
Or when
working
you're
on that.
just rambling from your head, which happens a lot, especially when you try to get
Yeah.
a lot of things out. But that's something I've been practicing as well in the last few months. Like, okay, Nina, talk from your heart. You're not in a rush. Because previously I was always scared that I won't be able to say everything that I want to say, so I'm
Yes.
very quick.
Me too. I resonate. I get so excited and I just talk so quickly and I'm like,
Yeah,
just we can take a breath.
exactly. Breathe.
Mm.
Awesome. I also wanted to talk to you about digital tools because I know you use a lot of them. So, as you know, the digital landscape keeps evolving. So, I'm really interested to find out what tools or platforms have truly helped you simplify and scale your businesses.
I love that. Well, I want to talk to one that I've just started using, which I'm obsessed with. Have you heard of Midjourney?
Oh, yeah. Love
So
it.
crazy. Oh my
Yeah, I know.
God. It's just like it's like elevated all of my designs to the next level because it's almost like I can create stock photos for my clients that are like so not stock photos and like incredible photos. So I'm really loving that. So if anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's like an AI platform that you can like create your own images and movies and all of that, and it's bloody amazing. At like the stuff that comes out of it is wild. So I'm really loving that. And I use a platform called Sloan, which is like, imagine like a ChatGPT customized for your business. So it's got your whole business tone of voice and your business's language and all of it. And so you can like go in there and be like, hey, can you help me sort of map this strategy out? And it knows all of your offers in your business. So that's been really, really helpful. I'm like a big proponent. I don't love when people use AI for Instagram posts and like things that are coming from the heart, especially if you have a personal brand. This is just a personal preference for me. Like when I'm writing something, I'm like I want my people to feel it. Like if it's got I can smell AI like a rat. Like I'm like I can
Yeah.
just smell it straight away and I'm like it just as soon as I feel it, I just swipe through. I'm like no, it doesn't have any energy behind it. And I think like it's such an invitation for us solid business owners. Like there's so much AI junk out in the world, but it's like the way you want to stand out, you want to make some noise in this world, like be yourself and write from the heart and like write something that's actually like from you, and you will like you might not be getting the likes now, but it's like you will be getting like the right people coming into your world and resonating with your message because it's not just written by a robot.
Yeah, I love that. And I
Yeah,
think that the human word will be the most expensive one in the future, right?
100%. Yeah. And I love anything on my Google. I'm like, I love my Gmail. I love my Google Calendar. I love my G Suite, all of that. What other technology do I use? And obviously Canva. Like I do my whole brand in a day on Canva, which is crazy because I studied graphic design in uni. Like I learned all the creative software, Adobe, Illustrator, Photoshop, and I had all the software, but I'm like, I love Canva and my clients love Canva too. So, it's crazy that like, if I told myself back then that I'd be using some like software like this, I would probably scoff. But I'm like, it works and my clients love it. So we'll roll with
Incredible.
it.
So you create everything on Canva. You don't need to use anything else for all of
No,
your designs.
it's crazy. so wild. And it means that
But
like my
you're
clients,
a pro in
yeah.
Canva. You're
Oh
not
my
like,
God.
you know,
I no no no. I'm not just like here's a square and a triangle.
exactly.
No, I have used Canva for so long, and like I bring in a lot of like my design stuff that I learned throughout the years. So it's not just like here's a basic sort of thing.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see that. That's why I thought you were maybe using like Adobe InDesign or something like
No,
that. Like I'm like that can't be all Canva, but
it
wow,
is.
hats off to you. I've used Canva for a year now, and I hate my designs.
Oh
The ones that I
no.
create,
Oh my
so
God.
basic. So I
No,
just
it's
create something, then
perfect.
I just like remove it. I'm like, nope, let's just stick to normal posts for now.
That's so
Not
funny.
ready to go there. But as far as I understand, so when it comes to AI and digital tools, you use them to improve your efficiency, right? Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep.
yeah, I love
Mm,
that as well. That's
mm.
what I do. Also, I don't know if you use the tool Notion for organizing.
Yes,
Like, yeah, that's my favorite. Like, I love
so
Notion.
good.
Like organizing my little like
And it's so
spaces and things.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's such a I love like beautifully designed things, and like Notion is definitely beautiful. But it's funny, I haven't had a task list for a while because I'm just in mum mode, and I'm like, okay, I don't really like I'm not in a growth season of business, although it's
Yeah,
like my biggest season of business, surprisingly. But yeah, it's
I
just
know
kind
it's
of
great.
like yeah, it's so wild. So
You're not
wild.
chasing it; it's coming.
It's coming. And I'm like, I keep on getting all these inquiries to do like business coaching. And I'm like, oh, I'm just loving kind of doing my brand, just 2 days brand. And I'll pick up that next year. So, yeah, it's cool though.
It's beautiful that you can organize your time and work 2 days a week as a mom and to really take that time for yourself. I think it's super important. Like your whole life changed. And I
Mm,
think it's super important as a mom and as a woman to just take time for yourself to
yeah,
reflect and to be there with your child. Like that's
it's so
so
good. And I've
important.
like systemized everything within it, like the onboarding, the offboarding, the day. Like I really only have to do the 2 brand in a days and probably 30 minutes of admin outside of that in the week. And then that is it. Like
Love it.
crazy, crazy,
Love it.
crazy.
Talking about personal brands, this is a very important question that I wanted to ask you. No pressure.
I love it. Oh God, the pressure's on.
So, what do you think makes a personal brand magnetic in 2025?
Mm. I literally just got so clearly is just like being yourself. Like
Simple.
there's it's so simple, but it's also so hard because people think, oh, I need to be like this person to be successful, or I need to be like this, or whatever, or I need to have this haircut, or like have this brand, or whatever it might be. But it's not like the people that I'm most drawn to on Instagram, hands down, are the ones who are themselves and that just radiate authenticity and like yeah, I did a post, I don't know if you saw it, and it's like I'm officially unleashing myself because I'm like I
I love
just
that
felt that
post.
I put myself in this tiny little box, and like I want to talk about, the things that I'm baking. I want to talk about my relationship. I want to talk about the things that I love, or like, wellness low tox products that I'm loving. Like I want to talk about all the things, and I do think as well, and I've spoken to a few friends in the industry about it. Like I think that's what people are gravitating towards. Like the really like niche down pages where it's like, very like this is the one thing that we talk about. I actually don't even want a bar of them anymore. Like I want all of it, and I want people to be posting about their life, and I want people obviously don't share things that you don't want to share on online. But like I'm kind of looking for like the full spectrum women on Instagram who are kind of like they're doing business and they're doing babies and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're like sharing the whole journey. And it's like what we said before, like when you're authentically showing up and like you're just being you on Instagram, like that is the most radiant strategy, and it cuts through the AI bullshit and the AI noise like so quickly. So I would say like the best strategy is just be you, as hard and
Yeah.
easy as that sounds.
Yeah, that is so true. I love it. I remember when I started my personal, so from my personal profile, it changed a bit into what I'm doing now. And I got so much advice from people being like, you're talking about curiosity and building a business out of curiosity and all of those things. Like, you should focus your posts and your stories on that. And I kept saying, but I'm so much more than that. There's life going on behind that I want to
Yes.
share. Like, it's not the only thing that I talk about throughout the day. And it's just one segment of my life And when you group it all together, it creates a beautiful story, you know, because if
Yeah.
you just give one side of yourself, people can't really get to know you. But if people see you,
100%.
like you said, you know, like, I don't know, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna film myself as I brush my teeth every morning. I'm not talking about that, but just like the normal daily life, which we can all resonate with. And what I've noticed is that when I'm really genuine about my days and even the bad days, like sometimes when I have a bad day, I'm really like, today was a challenging day because of this, but you know, the way that I resolved it. And I feel like those kind of stories resonate the most with people. Not the
100%.
theoretical stuff of, you know, me
On the
saying
pedestal.
something
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. Yeah. But like this is how you build community. Like I've had this Instagram page for like I don't have like, hundreds of thousands of followers, but the community that I do have are like so engaged, and I'm like I love my community so hard, and like there's been people that have been there since like I started at 5 years ago, and that's just come because I've just kind of been me, and I've shared the journey, and I've shared the little bits and pieces. And as you said so beautifully, it's like I haven't just shared one part, I've shared so many different parts with so many people resonate. Like some people follow me because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and some people follow me because they like my recipes, and some people follow because they love my branding stuff or the business coaching stuff. So it's like people, you never know what's going to resonate with, different people out there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I love that, Shani, so much. Well, this leads us to my last question for you. If you would whisper one thing to a woman who's standing on the edge and who wants to start her own thing, what would you tell her?
Ooh, so she's just about to start her business.
Yes, but she's still not really sure if she wants to go into it or not. What would you tell her?
Okay, so this is something that I say to myself when I'm in like the midst of like, oh, I'm confused, I don't know where I'm going, like what's happening. And I would say to her, I would say, you are at the beginning of the greatest story that you will one day share, and just get started. Like, honestly, entrepreneurship is the best journey you will ever go on, and you will, like, in a year's time, you will be unrecognizable. In 2 years' time, you'll be unrecognizable. In 3 years' time, like, it's crazy that the growth that you will go on with this journey. And, like, it's going to be hard, but it's also going to be so bloody rewarding as well. But yeah, so that's, I don't know if that resonates.
I'm pretty sure it will. I heard
Yeah.
saying, you think that you're working on your business, but actually your business is working on you.
Oh, I love that so
My favorite thing.
much. It's so good. And it does. Like it initiates you, and it's like it puts you through so many different, hurdles and challenges and ups and downs, but it's like you're always better off for it.
Yes, definitely.
That's such a
Shani,
beautiful
thank
question.
you so much for this beautiful conversation. Honestly, I loved every part of it. And
Me
really,
too.
my idea is to bring guests just like you to this podcast who are living their life out of alignment and actually starting their own businesses and working on their own businesses out of expansion, not out of something that, doesn't work in their own lives, but really as an expansion and just a way to be truly happy in life and to find your purpose. And I loved listening to you speak so beautifully about your business, about your clients, about your life. I think it's going to resonate with all the listeners who are here today, because at the end of the day, we all want to be content, right? We all
Yeah.
want to live a life that is fulfilled. So thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful conversation. And yeah, thank you to all the listeners who joined us today, who took their time. And I will see everyone else next time, next week. No, same time, same place next week.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Oh God, don't worry. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And Nina, thank you for all your beautiful, insightful questions. You hold such a beautiful space when you're interviewing, and yeah, you made me feel very welcome and safe. So thank you, beautiful.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Shani. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week. Bye. Bye, Shani.
Same time next week.
Yeah, same time next week.
That's
I always